So you think all fascinating creatures have vanished from the Earth? Well, guess what? Evolution often has a few surprises in store. While the dinosaurs and mammoths may be long gone, some of their relatives are still among us. They might not be as colossal or as ferocious as their extinct kin, but these living relatives certainly carry on the ancestral legacy. Today we're taking a journey through time, linking the present with the past as we explore the closest living relatives of these 20 extinct animals. Watch this video until the end to find out which closest relative of dragons, dodo birds, T-Rex, the giant bison, and the mighty Megalodon is still alive today. So let's dive in. Number 20. Thylacynus cynocephalus, also known as the Tasmanian Tiger. Closest living relative, Tasmanian Devil. The Tasmanian tiger, or thylacine, was an intriguing marsupial that resembled a large dog with a pouch. Once widespread through Australia, Tasmania, and New Guinea, the last known thylacine died in captivity in 1936. Despite its name and appearance, the Tasmanian tiger wasn't a tiger but a marsupial with unique features, like a kangaroo-like pouch and a stiff kangaroo-like tail. Its closest living relative, the Tasmanian Devil, is also a marsupial known for its powerful jaw and shrill scream. Though much smaller than the thylacine, and lacking the striped pattern that gave the Tasmanian tiger its name, the Tasmanian Devil shares some significant characteristics. Both animals have a similar skull structure and dentition, and like the thylacine, Tasmanian devils are also carnivorous marsupials. Despite the extinction of the thylacine, the Tasmanian devil continues to carry on the lineage of these unique marsupials. Number 19. Smilodon fatalis, also known as the Saber-tooth Tiger. Closest living relative, African lion. If ever there was an animal representing the fierce beauty of prehistoric life, it was the saber-toothed tiger. Roaming the continents of North and South America until around 10,000 years ago, this ferocious predator was about the size of a modern-day big cat, but much heavier, with males weighing up to 620 pounds. The Smilodon fatalis, a particular species of saber-toothed tiger, sported elongated upper canine teeth, earning it its name. It's presumed to have been an ambush predator, using its muscular body and dagger-like teeth to deliver a killer blow. In stark contrast, its closest living relatives, the African lions, rely more on their speed and stealth to take down prey. Their canines are more conventional, yet they carry the legacy of being among nature's most efficient predators. Number 18. Mammothus primigenius, commonly known as the woolly mammoth. Closest living relative, Asian elephant. The woolly mammoth, an icon of the Ice Age, was one of the many large mammals whose reign ended about 4,000 years ago. These giants used to roam across North America, Europe, and Asia. Distinguished by its colossal size, reaching up to 11 feet in height and weighing as much as 6 tons, the woolly mammoth was an impressive sight. Its long, curved tusks, which could reach up to 16 feet in length, and its humped, furry appearance set it apart. But it's the woolly mammoth's close genetic relation to the Asian elephant that is most striking. Despite the enormous geographical and chronological gap, these two species share 99.4% of their DNA. Asian elephants, smaller in size, lack iconic long hair and curved tusks, yet they still carry some characteristics of their extinct cousins, such as their similarly structured molar teeth and love for similar habitats like grasslands. Number 17. Rhapis cuculatus, also known as the dodo bird. Closest living relative, Nicobar pigeon. The dodo bird, once found exclusively on the island of Mauritius, was a flightless bird standing about a meter tall with a stout body and a large beak. Sadly, their trusting nature and inability to fly made them easy prey for human hunters and went extinct in the 17th century. Despite its unique appearance, the dodo bird's closest living relative is the Nicobar pigeon, also known as the Zealandian dove. The dodo bird shared the family Columbidae with these birds. The comparison may seem odd due to the dodo's large size and inability to fly, but genetic analyses have confirmed this relationship. Pigeons and doves, unlike their extinct relative, are known for their ability to fly and their relatively small size. Yet they share a similar head shape and wing bone structure strikingly similar to that of a dodo. These traits hint at their genetic connection to the dodo bird, which has been confirmed by New Zealand scientists. Number 16. Equisqua, also known as the quagga. Closest living relative, plains zebra. The quagga once roamed freely in South Africa's grasslands and was a unique creature resembling a horse and zebra hybrid. The front part of its body bore the classic black and white stripes of a zebra, while the rear part was brown like a horse. The last known quagga died in captivity in the Amsterdam Zoo in 1883. Its closest living relative, the plains zebra, has been a subject of study and comparison. Unlike the quagga, the plains zebra sports stripes all over its body. However, they share the same genus, Equus, and recent DNA studies have revealed that the quagga was not a separate species but a subspecies of the plains zebra, adding to their shared lineage and legacy. Number 15. Megatherium Americanum, also known as the giant ground sloth. Closest living relatives, two-toed sloths and three-toed sloths. As the name suggests, giant ground sloths were massive creatures reaching up to 20 feet in length and weighing several tons. Unlike their modern relatives, they walked the earth rather than hanging from trees. They roamed in South America during the Pleistocene epoch. Known for their gigantic claws, they were primarily herbivores, grazing on leaves and branches. Their modern relatives, the two-toed and three-toed sloths, are much smaller and have a different lifestyle, dwelling in trees rather than on the ground. These slow-moving creatures, usually no larger than a medium-sized dog, share a common ancestor with their colossal extinct counterparts. Both the ancient and modern sloths have similarly structured teeth, designed for a plant-based diet. Still, the giant ground sloths were uniquely adapted to a life spent foraging on the ground, a lifestyle lost with their extinction. Number 14. Ectopistes migratorius, also known as the passenger pigeon. Closest living relative, pigeons. The passenger pigeon, once abundant in North America with a population estimated in the billions, was known for its long, pointed tail and swift flight. Unfortunately, relentless hunting and habitat destruction led to its extinction, with the last passenger pigeon, named Martha, dying in captivity in 1914. Its closest living relatives are the pigeons and doves of the family Columbidae. Like the passenger pigeon, these birds are characterized by their stout bodies and short necks. While the modern pigeons and doves lack the swift flight and unique collaboration of the passenger pigeon, they share a similar body structure and dietary habits, living reminders of their once plentiful relative. Number 13. Coelodonta antiquitatis, also known as the woolly rhinoceros. Closest living relative, Indian rhinoceros. The woolly rhinoceros, with its massive body covered in a thick, shaggy coat, was well adapted to the harsh, cold environments of the Ice Age. These colossal creatures sported two horns, with the front one reaching up to a meter in length. Roaming the plains of Europe and northern Asia, they disappeared around 10,000 years ago, likely due to climate change and overhunting. Their closest living relative, the Indian rhinoceros, shares many traits with its extinct kin. The Indian rhino, too, is a large, two-horned creature, although it lacks the woolly coat that gave the woolly rhinoceros its name. Despite their differences in habitat and appearance, the Indian and woolly rhinoceros share a common lineage and similar body structure, highlighting the diversity of this impressive family of animals. Number 12. Megaloceros giganteus, also known as the Irish elk. Closest living relative, red deer. Despite its name, the Irish elk wasn't an elk, but a species of deer known for its magnificent antlers that span up to 3.6 meters. These majestic creatures roamed the grasslands of Eurasia, reaching their peak population during the last Ice Age. Around 7,000 years ago, the Irish elk went extinct, likely due to environmental change and overhunting. The red deer, its closest living relative, is considerably smaller and sports much smaller antlers. However, the shared heritage between these two species is evident in their similar body structure and diet. Like its extinct relative, the red deer is a grazing herbivore that favors grasslands, embodying the legacy of the majestic Irish elk. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe to 4Evergreen and turn on notifications to stay updated with our latest content. Thank you for your support. Number 12. Dinornis, also commonly known as the moa. Closest living relative, kiwi birds. The moa, native to New Zealand, was a massive flightless bird, some species of which could reach up to 3.6 meters in height. Their extinction, which occurred approximately 600 years ago, is largely attributed to hunting by the Maori people. Despite their size and lack of wings, moas are closely related to the much smaller kiwi birds. Kiwi birds, also native to New Zealand, share the same order, Ratites, as the extinct moa. Kiwis are much smaller, roughly the size of a chicken, and are known for their long beaks and rounded bodies. While the kiwi's flightless nature and feather structure are reminiscent of the moa, their size and lifestyle differences highlight the vast diversity within this bird group. Number 11. Pinguinus impinis, also known as the great auk. Closest living relative, razorbill. The great auk, the original penguin, was a large, flightless bird that lived in the North Atlantic, from North America to Europe and the Arctic. This bird was well adapted to life in the ocean, with its webbed feet and sleek body. Unfortunate victims of their easy accessibility and prized feathers, they were hunted to extinction by the mid-19th century. The razorbill and other auks are the closest living relatives to the great auk. While they're much smaller and capable of flight, these birds share the great auk's love for the ocean. They possess similarly colored plumage and share a similar body shape and lifestyle, showing the legacy of adaptation to a marine environment in the frigid North Atlantic. Number 10. Hydrodamalis gigas, also known as the Steller's sea cow. Closest living relative, manatees. Steller's sea cow was an enormous marine mammal, reaching lengths of up to 9 meters and weighing up to 10 tons. Named after naturalist George Wilhelm Steller, who documented the animal during an expedition in 1741, this gentle giant became extinct 27 years later due to overhunting. Manatees and dugongs are the closest living relatives of Steller's sea cow. Like the sea cow, these creatures are large, slow-moving herbivores inhabiting shallow coastal waters. Although smaller in size, they share a similar body shape with their extinct cousin, including the tail fluke used for propulsion. Number 9. Panthera leo atrox, commonly known as the American lion. A live relative, the African lion. The American lion, one of the largest cats that ever lived, once roamed North America during the Pleistocene epoch. It was around 25% larger than the modern African lion, with males reaching lengths of up to 2.5 meters and weighing 350 kilograms. The American lion disappeared around 11,000 years ago, likely due to climate change and the extinction of its large prey. The closest living relative of the American lion is the African lion. While the African lion is smaller, the two share a common lineage and many similarities. Both are social animals, live in groups called prides, and have similar physical characteristics, including the male's iconic mane. This striking resemblance shows the shared evolutionary history of these magnificent beasts. Number 8. Diceros bicornos longips, also known as the Western Black Rhinoceros. Closest living relative, Eastern Black Rhinoceros. The Western Black Rhinoceros ranged across the savannas of Central West Africa not too long ago. They were smaller than other rhino species and possessed a hooked lip ideal for browsing. The distinguishing feature between various black rhino subspecies is often geographical and slight variances in size, shape, and skin color. Due to rampant poaching and habitat loss, the western black rhinoceros was declared extinct in 2011. Its closest living relative is the eastern black rhinoceros, sharing the same genus Diceros bicornis. Both species have two horns, with the foremost being more prominent. These creatures are a stark reminder of the ongoing struggle against poaching and the urgent need for conservation. Number 7. Bos primigenius, also known as Arox. Closest living relative, domestic cattle. The Arox were massive wild cattle species that once roamed across the grasslands of Europe, Asia, and North Africa. They stood up to 1.8 meters at the shoulder, had a muscular body, and both males and females bore massive forward-curving horns. The last recorded Arox died in Poland in 1627. The Arox are the wild ancestors of today's domestic cattle, Bos taurus. Selective breeding has led to a wide variety of cattle breeds, which are generally smaller and more docile than their wild ancestors. However, recent breeding efforts aim to resurrect the Arox traits to help restore Europe's grassland ecosystems. Number 6. Arctodus simus, also known as the giant short-faced bear. Closest living relative, brown bear. The giant short-faced bear, standing up to 3.4 meters tall on its hind legs, was one of the largest terrestrial mammalian carnivores ever. Inhabiting North America during the Pleistocene epoch, they were built more for speed than battle. With long limbs and a slim frame, these bears were likely active predators rather than scavengers. The closest living relative of the giant short-faced bear is the brown bear. While brown bears are far smaller, they share a similar body structure and certain behavioral traits. They're omnivores, just like their extinct relatives, suggesting a continuity in dietary habits within the bear family. The difference lies in their build. Brown bears are more robust, reflecting a more diverse diet and less predatory lifestyle. Number 5. Glyptodon. Closest living relative, armadillos. The Glyptodon was a car-sized armadillo that lived during the Pleistocene epoch in what is now South America. Weighing up to a ton and measuring up to 3.3 meters in length, it's famous for its domed, virtually impenetrable shell made of bony plates. Its tail was also encased in bony rings and could be used as a formidable weapon against predators. The Glyptodon's closest living relatives are the armadillos. While significantly smaller, armadillos have a similar protective armor made of overlapping plates covering the back, head, legs, and tail. Like the Glyptodon, they're largely herbivorous, feeding on insects, worms, and plants. Despite the size difference, the survival strategy of using a protective shell has been a successful trait in this family of creatures, enduring from prehistoric times to the present day. Number 4. Diprotodon. Closest living relative, wombats. The Diprotodon, also known as the giant wombat, was the largest known marsupial to have ever lived. Roaming Australia during the Pleistocene, it resembled a gigantic wombat, reaching up to 3.8 meters in length. This herbivore was slow-moving, with two large, ever-growing front incisors that helped it feed on grasses and shrubs. Today's wombats are the closest living relatives of the Diprotodon. They share several features with their extinct kin, including the unique rear-facing pouch common to marsupials and similar dentition for grazing on vegetation. While modern wombats are considerably smaller, reaching lengths of around 1 meter, they occupy similar ecological niches as burrowers and grazers. The comparison between these two animals offers a fascinating glimpse into the adaptive radiation of marsupials within Australia, from petite wombats to the colossal Diprotodon. Number 3. Spinosaurus. Closest living relative, the Nile crocodile. The Spinosaurus was a carnivorous dinosaur that lived during the Cretaceous period. It's best known for its large size, reaching lengths of up to 18 meters, and its distinctive sail-like spines. The Spinosaurus was semi-aquatic, living on land and water, hunting for fish and likely other dinosaurs. This feature makes it unique among dinosaurs, resembling more a modern crocodile than any of its terrestrial cousins. The Spinosaurus shares many traits with the Nile crocodile. Both are large apex predators with aquatic adaptations, and they both hunt in a similar fashion. Of course, the Nile crocodile is a reptile, not a dinosaur, but the similarities in their ecological roles are striking and demonstrate the parallel paths of evolution. Number 2. Tyrannosaurus rex. Closest living relative, the chicken. The Tyrannosaurus rex, or T-Rex, is one of the most recognized dinosaurs. With its colossal size, powerful legs, small arms, and large, sharp-toothed jaws, this carnivorous beast roamed North America during the late Cretaceous period. T-Rex stood up to 20 feet tall and reached lengths of 40 feet, earning it the reputation as one of the largest land predators. Surprisingly, the ordinary chicken is one of the closest living relatives of the mighty T-Rex. This relation is revealed through shared features in their skeletons and reproductive biology, such as their hollow bones, wishbones, and methods of egg-laying. The similarities extend to the molecular level, with some proteins in T-Rex fossils closely matching those of chickens. This striking connection showcases evolution's incredible transformative power, linking a towering predator to the humble chicken we know today. Number 1. Cacharocles Megalodon, also known as the Megalodon. Closest living relative, great white shark. The Megalodon was the largest shark to have ever lived, reaching lengths of up to 18 meters. Living from the early Miocene to the end of the Pliocene, it was a dominant marine predator. Megalodon hunted large prehistoric whales using its massive jaws with teeth measuring up to 7 inches. The great white shark, the largest predatory shark alive today, shares many features with the Megalodon. Both possess a similar body shape, teeth designed for shearing flesh, and a diet that includes marine mammals. The comparison between these two predators showcases the successful adaptation of these cartilaginous fish to saltwater environments, where they've reigned as top predators for millions of years. And there you have it, a fascinating journey through evolution, linking past behemoths to their present-day relatives. If you've enjoyed this time-traveling adventure and would like to learn more about the incredible world of animals, make sure to subscribe to 4Evergreen and hit the notification bell. And don't forget to like and share this video to bring your friends along for our next expedition into the wild.